I'm here with Martin, who is freaktechnik. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, about right.
Yeah, freak. Yeah. I hope it would rhyme. And Martin's been working on the Thunderbird matrix integration, which is it's something that's been on the horizon for a while, but I guess it's finally getting quite a lot of movement. And I've just been testing on nightly, and yeah, it seems to be working okay. So hello.
Hi,
Hey, where in the world are you?
I'm in Switzerland.
Okay, cool. Is it a good time there at the moment?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
About lunchtime, but there's always time for Matrix Live.
Very good. All right. So I've been testing Fire. I was going to say Firefox Thunderbird nightly this morning, and yeah, the chat stuff that was already there. I guess you've been working on that because I went through the same UI to log in. But now the timelines are working properly, so we can see history in the rooms, which is really cool. Why don't you tell us maybe a little bit about kind of Thunderbird and your work there and how you got started with that?
Sure. So Thunderbird has a chat feature that it inherited from Instantbird, which was a standalone messenger based on libpurple and Zulrunner. So all of our internals are based on Purple APIs. Right. I initially got started working on the IRC parts of this whole thing because I used to use IRC before Matrix was a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a chance earlier this year to start working on Matrix for a Thunderbird.
Super. So remind me, what is the kind of governance around Thunderbird at the moment? Is it still connected to Mozilla?
Yes. So the company that maintains Thunderbird, which is MZLA Technologies, is owned by the foundation.
Right. Gotcha. Okay, cool. So you are an MZLA employee then?
Well, it's a bit more complicated than that, but
there's always something. All right, there's always something. And Instantbird is the heritage here. So Instantbird was a Zulrunner libpurple GUI, if I've got that right. But that you must have gone quite a bit beyond that then, because that would have only included IRC and XMPP, right? And yet there's much more in Thunderbird today.
Well, there isn't much more. There's actually much less than Instantbird could do, at least from a chat perspective. Because of course, Purple gives you Skype and Facebook. Well, back when Facebook was a thing, and ICQ and MSN and AIM and all of those classic messengers that we no longer use. So there's actually quite a bit less now because we just have IRC and XMPP, which also means Google Talk.
Right.
Yeah, and now we're working on adding Matrix to the stack.
Yeah, that's super. So I know that there's been a lot of excitement around this. What's the current status? Why don't we talk about? Because when I tested it, I initially thought E2E was working, but now I've realized that that's not quite yet. But you have typing and read notifications, sending messages. What else is there?
Well, we also support most of the notice type things you would see, like change their username, stuff like that. Display names in rooms are mostly working, but not for the user. We support your current status, so if you're online or not, or if you have a status message. And SSO is a big one too, of course, because Mozilla uses SSO for the Matrix server, so we support single account SSO only for now. Yeah.
So are you expecting, let's talk about Mozilla's use of Matrix. Are you expecting Mozilla to be the first consumer of this new feature? Are Mozilla the biggest consumers of the Thunderbird email app as well?
I doubt it that there's like one big consumer, personally. Right. From the stats, we currently don't have one big Matrix consumer yet, even though Matrix has been in there for a long time, but not really usable. I'd expect that the Thunderbird team will use it, at least. But apart from that, I think it won't be for everyone, because I don't think will support all of the matrix things in the short term.
Right.
So it's more of an IRC experience in a way, because that's how our interface works, basically.
I see. Yeah. So IRC remains your focus in the chat component. Is that
no?
Fair?
No. It's just the heritage of how the interface was built.
Right. Okay.
So we're adding new stuff for for Matrix.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, red notifications didn't exist before Matrix. Stuff
Gotcha.
like that.
Yeah, I see. So you mentioned the team. Who is the Thunderbird team? There's yourself.
Yeah, I think we're around 10 employees, and then there's a bunch of volunteers that some of them spend as much time on Thunderbird as we employees do. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And are you remote? Are you all in Bern, or are you distributed?
We're all over the world, in all the time zones you can imagine.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing, isn't it? Working across multiple time zones, scheduling becomes its own activity to try to get everybody together. All right, this sounds really promising. And I'm for as long as I've been working with Matrix, I've been aware that there was this feature in Thunderbird. To see some actual usability progress on that is super. What is the roadmap for this project?
So the current goal is to add all the things that are missing, which is a rather big statement, but it's mostly around displaying all the things that we're not displaying currently. So redactions, for example, or end-to-end encryption for that matter, because obviously we're not displaying anything that's encrypted currently.
Yeah. What's the strategy for end-to-end encryption? You'll use the C-libom, or
no? We're using the JS SDK, so
right.
We'll use probably the WebAssembly libom.
Gotcha. Yep, that makes more sense. Yes. Yeah.
There's also other stuff, like we currently don't show any attachments. Just making sure that all the information that you get sent, you also get displayed, so communication can work.
In terms of running a software project, how are you deciding what to do first? Are you getting user feedback, or is it just your opinion?
It's mostly our opinion, yeah. As I said, there's not that many users already out there, and yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. All right, thank you, Martin. Was there anything else you wanted to add to this to the status of the project?
Yeah, maybe one little thing. Currently setting up accounts isn't where it should be yet. It's rather atypical for Matrix. It'll probably stay atypical for Matrix, but at least it'll be much easier, where you just enter your MX ID and it figures out the rest for you. Right now you have to enter your server URL and like skip the password field if you want SSO and stuff like that. So
yeah, I found that out. I had to go and look at, why isn't this connecting? Oh, I need to type my server name in. So you need to support well known there. So how can, if people want to start testing this, what's the way to do that?
So the way to do that is to go to thunderbird.net and scroll to the very bottom, and then select Nightly channel there and download Thunderbird Nightly.
Great, and it's available for Linux, Windows, Mac, I guess?
And Mac, yeah.
Super. That's really cool. All right, Martin, thank you for taking the time.
Yeah, thanks you
for
having me.
Bye.